We are live.
Excellent. Always good to be live.
I tell you, nothing like the present and being with you as always, a highlight of the week, the day, the hour, everything in between.
Why, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate the way you frame things. It really, that framing makes such a difference in kind of setting the table. You set the table in such a way that it really doesn't matter whether we're eating a steak or hamburger or bologna. You know what I mean?
I 100% get it. So
very nice.
I thank you. I'm excited today because I'm going to bring some vulnerability into the equation. And I'm going to put myself on display here. And today's Tuesday, and when I think about the learnings and the great opportunity I had to sit down with you on what Tuesday means in terms of what's my highest aim, my passion, the justice, and really what drives kind of my inner being and beast. I'm really focused on moving forward, really, being present though, while still having the visionary thinking. And one of the things that I'm struggling with a little bit is my inner being in terms of wanting to do more and do it faster. And how am I managing kind of my reactivity and response to achieving my highest aim and not getting ahead of myself, but still being present, but also keep the foot down on the pedal.
Yeah, that's really an extraordinary inquiry, Sammy. We're getting to the serious part of the work when we have this conversation, because it really does impact and affect your inner growth, your inner development. So there's a couple of mantras that I like, that I think we can put into the background of this conversation.
Okay.
The first one is a kind of a principle. And the principle is expand to include. And we could ask, well, include what? Well, everything. Expand, just expand, standing where you are, being informed by the past, being called by the future powerfully, standing there, dealing with the clutter that's in front of you, expanding to include, so that you can actually include that and move on as a larger person. So that's one thing, is expand to include. The second one comes from the great Bruce Lee. And Bruce said, be the water.
Oh, yeah.
Be the water. Be that which looks for. Do you ski?
I have not skied before.
Okay, when you ski, there's the fastest way down the hill. It's called the fall line.
Okay.
Now you can't ski it. You got to kind of zigzag your way down, because if you ski the fall line, you get going over your skis and you're too fast, and bad things will happen. Depending on your ability and your skill. So the world's greatest, fastest skiers they're skiing the fall line to a big degree, and they're going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour on skis. But that's not for you. You should be going 15. So you have to be the water. The water's going to flow down the fall line, but you have to kind of cross it, and you have to kind of go the way that you go. So what you're looking for is what's the fall line in life? And it's not necessarily the fastest way. It's the way that the water would flow if it was flowing organically. Be the water.
Yeah.
Allow yourself, he's saying, allow yourself to flow. So the third principle, so the first one is expand to include, the second is be the water. And the third principle, and I'll stop after this third principle, comes from a guy that is almost unpronounceable. His name is Mihai Csikszentmihalyi.
Wow.
Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. And he wrote one of the most remarkable books of the 20th century. And the book was called Flow. And what we're examining is flow. So if you expand to include be the water and flow, put yourself into flow. And he actually talked about there's a way to put yourself into flow. He said it's a matter of the level of the kind of competency, and it'd be that would be the vertical vector.
Okay.
And the level that your skill level. Your skill level wants to match your level of competency. And then you want to keep raising your skill level so your level of competency goes up. If you are participating, this is play the game, learn the rules, correct? If you're participating in the game and the competency level is way, way over your skill level, you're going to be in a high state of anxiety.
Oh, I know the life.
Okay, so but if you increase your skill level, your anxiety diminishes, and if you do it long enough and strong enough, increasing your skill level, you will go from anxiety into flow.
Yeah, and it's so let me pause you on that, because that's interesting.
It is interesting.
These three principles are, yeah, they hit me pretty straight, which is great, because as you're talking through, I was writing down some reflection of where I felt anxiety back in the day, and where corporations also, like HR organizations, they'll hide behind the whole competency skill set to be, oh, well, you can't take this role because you really don't have the skills you need. But they kind of hide behind it, because
Yes.
you could have the appetite and the aperture for the competency, and you have the overall behaviors.
That's correct.
But you may not have kind of the skill sets on paper, but you have the behaviors and all of the wherewithal to do that. But they hide behind that, and they hide behind that vector and say, oh, that learning curve is just way too steep. And they put anxiety on you. Whereas the way we're talking about it right now is I'm in flow state. I'm focusing on my inner self right now. And I'm being honest in front of the mirror and saying, Sam, what's your competency level, and what is your skill level right now, and where are you edging towards being uncomfortable, which is a great place to be, being at the bottom of the top with people who are way above you, right? And
well, that's exactly it. If you say it in a nutshell, the way that you're talking, you understand the principle that you want to be playing a game where the skill, the competency, the demand of the competency is slightly higher than your skill level, because that's what pulls your skill level up.
100%. And a lot of my early age, if I reflect on like where I came from to help where I am going, I lived in my ability to have a skill set that matched my competency, and I lived in it. I basked in it. It made me feel great. It didn't give me anxiety. I always was in control of where I was going, but it really did hinder my growth early on, because I was always kind of being at par. My goals, they were always what I could achieve. There was no stretch in them. There was no bottom of the top mentality. It was, hey, I was playing a finite game in sports. That was my identity, what I looked through. That was my lens. And I was good with that. And then I decided to major in chemistry because, oh, it's hard. I don't know about it, but that was for me, my stretch. And it wasn't a stretch by any means, but it was somehow one way I could fool myself in thinking so. So as I'm evolving and really understanding where I'm at today, where I really aspire to go to, and what does that journey need to look like, I'm exposing, to be straight with you, John, my laziness of trying to match my skill set and my competency.
Well, I can see that, but remember that those are all principles. What I really want to talk to you about, what I really want to talk to you is the inner, what could we say? We could say the inner warrior. We could say the inner leader.
Mhm.
We could say the inner, kind of disruptor. Okay, all of those are there.
Mhm.
But if the word that's common to all of them is inner. And it's how do we actually technically engage the inner, whatever name you say, warrior, leader, contributor,
Mhm.
even saint, spiritual being that you are, because the inner conversation is a spiritual conversation. And I don't mean religious, but I mean your spirit, your, what, the Greeks called your telos. That is, you're yearning to be more, and you're yearning to express it on a greater level, and so on, like that. And the question, what it becomes is an inquiry into, how do I nurture my inner spiritual being? How do I nurture that when what's happening in the outer world is, well, I'm trying to be the water, and I'm trying to get it into flow, and I'm trying to expand to engage, to expand to include. I'm doing all of that, kind of saying it to myself, going through practices and so on, like that. But what am I doing to nurture the inner spiritual being that I am? And that's the question. Because for every individual, there's going to be their own unique way of nurturing that inner way of being. So what is it that lights you up? That we can have a conversation and we can tease it out, that would show that, oh, that is really nurturing to my own inner being. For me, I will say it's strange because I'm older, okay? And it's been different over the years. It's evolved over the years for me. What it is that involved, at one point, it was just a kind of a shining dream. And so then it became more articulated as my vision and my mission. And then it became my vision, my mission, and my purpose. And I think that's the conversation we're in with you, is the vision, mission, purpose. You understand your vision. You understand your mission. The question is, what is my purpose? So what is your inner purpose here? If we were fulfilling you, if you were to die tomorrow, what is your inner purpose? So what is that?
I want to shatter. We talked about this when I was there briefly,
Yeah.
in terms of, hey, Samantha Card, like, who are you? Like, if someone asks who you are, and I truly want to shatter all limiting beliefs, not just, oh, you're an athlete. I want to obviously reframe, reshape that concept, but I really want to break down all of those barriers and limiting beliefs that give me that hesitation, give others that hesitation, but use that to really empower me to go beyond and connect the dots in a way that I never have. Because
okay, that's really, really, really good. That's like first step. That's really, really good. The desire to shatter all of those, I'm going to use the word stereotypes.
I like that.
Yeah, the stereotype of athlete, the stereotype of business executive, the stereotype of whatever, all of those boxes that get kind of created around you because you worked hard to do the good work to build the box. So you've done that, but you've outgrown the box, and the box is stereotype. And the next thing, the next level, the next trap that you get into is the trap called reputation. And reputation is an interesting thing because you don't really know what your reputation is until you interview people to find out. And will they tell you what your reputation is? That's another question. But everybody else who knows you or who has ever heard of you, good news or bad news, they are the people who hold your reputation, and that's what it is. So the reputation, even though it's important, air quotes, and it's higher than stereotype, it still it doesn't get you up the mountain, and it doesn't nurture your inner being. It's only an opinion, assessment, judgment of your outer way of being. So reputation is not the deal. You're not building reputation. So shattering stereotypes, recognizing that it's not about reputation because it's in the hands of other people, but doing your best. The question is, what are your core values? What are you doing to nurture those core values? Core values are the ones that go to the center of the earth. They're not, just like the value of something that is surface. They are something that is your inner expression. And your inner expression in your core values is what's going to literally attract other people to you at the level of core values. And that's where you want to be playing. The game wants to be played at the level of the expression of everyone's core values, if that makes sense.
No, it 150% does. The biggest thing that I've been, in some cases, really doing some inner soul searching, right?
Yes.
There's one thing to, you exposed this in me in the best possible way when I was in front of you. And I live in the external facade of life.
You and everyone else, that's the thing, but everyone has their own unique experience of it. Yours is the one that we're talking about right now.
Exactly. And over the last week, I've really kind of took some time to think about, well, hold on a minute. I've been bogged down so much because I focused on the stereotypes, building that reputation, all those external things, all those external things bogged me down. Where
branding yourself.
No doubt. And then I said, okay, well, if I want to shatter limiting beliefs and genuinely mean it, authentically go after it, and be honest to where I am when I'm not doing what I say I'm doing. And
good.
The things that have come up are being all in. I talk about that a lot, but when I want to shatter limiting beliefs, not even just the athlete part of the equation, it's Samantha Card, the human being who is looking to achieve highest aim of fulfillment in life, not success.
Okay, good, perfect. You are totally working your way through this. Perfect. Keep going.
Being all in really means that there is no holdback. I talk about failing often and failing fast, but I should challenge if I've truly done that in every aspect of my life, not pieces.
Well, let me stop you right here because I think this is a really, really important thing. I believe that you can answer this question.
Okay.
I can answer this question for myself. Everyone needs to be able to answer this question. The question is, what my engagement in life, my full engagement in life, what is the project or the game worth failing at that I'm playing? This game that is so big, so important, so transformational, so compelling that I have to play the game even though I may fail at it. It's worth failing. So I have a game like that I'm playing. I do leadership. I traffic with people who are doing leadership, or so they say. My project is getting 10 people with a constituency, 10 people that are known in the world of leadership, to publish on the same day a book that is in alignment with the elevation of society.
Wow.
Game worth failing at. I've been playing this game kind of quietly, but I've been playing this game since 2008.
Wow.
Now, that's my game. A game where, but it nurtures my soul.
Oh, yeah.
It causes me to expand. It has me be the water. It puts me into flow. And it just feels right to be doing it. So my question for you, and I think you have an answer, is what is your game that is worth failing at?
I truly, deep down in my inner being, really want to empower every single possible athlete. I don't care if your high school, your college, I don't care what type of athlete you are. To me, noise. I want to help empower, to make you shatter the beliefs that you've imposed on yourself, the external world has imposed on yourself, and find that inner being to be able to connect your dots and make a long-lasting impact in society, in leadership positions, and hitting and tackling the most challenging problems because you have the leadership capabilities to do so, to fundamentally change the world.
Okay, good. Too many words.
Of course.
But I get it. Now but there is a word that's missing.
Okay.
Okay. The way you say this is, I want to, have people do this and that sort of thing, but you're not saying, I will cause. Like, I will cause athletes to become effective leaders, period. Because that's what I heard in all of that word salad that you gave me. Good stuff. But, your writing doesn't really, if you're a writer, it doesn't really communicate unless you do a lot of editing. In writing, they call it kill your babies. Those precious little ideas that you have.
Yeah.
And we all have all of these precious little ideas. But when we get down to the bone of that which is going to transform, and I mean in the authentic sense of the word transform, life as we know it, it will be because you caused it.
So let me take a stab at that again.
Okay, good. We're getting into something called a declaration, which is very powerful, and it accesses your vision, your mission, and your purpose in one statement.
And I'm gonna butcher over it because I love to learn in real time, and no time like
Well, exactly. Listen, it's going to alter as you go. We're going to be editing and altering as you go, but there will be a time when it goes clunk, and that's it.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time doing the groundwork here to be able to have this type of level of conversation.
You have absolutely done that. You've
And
absolutely done the background work.
it's awesome. It's inspiring. It's also scary all at the same time in
Oh
such
yeah.
a great
Oh
way.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
Oh yeah. Listen, you'd be an idiot if you weren't like, whoa.
oh, it
You
is.
know?
Everything about this is. But what's so fun about this, John, because it is fun, is that I hope someone could watch our dialogue right now and say to themselves in their inner self, oh wow, I need to step it in gear. You know?
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's what we want. We want people, the people who have ears to hear are in this conversation with us. Let's have the conversation.
yeah. So I wrote down a couple of things here. Okay.
Okay.
So going back to your initial statement, I caused, right?
Yeah, I will cause,
I will
or I cause.
I will cause a billion athletes to, be empowered, utilizing their skills and impact beyond the game. So that's like
Okay, let me do the first edit with you.
Okay.
I will cause the empowerment of a billion athletes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now try it again.
I will cause the empowerment of a billion athletes to extend their skills and impact beyond the game.
Okay, now say it again.
I will cause the empowerment of a billion athletes to extend their skills and impact beyond the game.
Okay, now is there anything that is weak in that statement for you? Anything? May not be.
The thing that's weak from what I'm feeling on the inner side is it's real fluffy at the end in terms of impact. Like, what is that?
Kinda. Okay. And so you want to be brutal. You want to kill your baby here.
Yeah. So it's less about just the word impact, and it's more about the extending their skills to solve the world's most challenging problems.
Okay. So let's take that little, veer it off, and we'll take that little tack. Okay. I will cause the empowerment of a billion athletes. That's the heart of it, right?
Yes.
If you stop there, I will cause the empowerment of I would really make it 1 billion athletes.
Yeah, that may be enough.
Let me tell you, I'll tell you what I lived from. And actually, there are thousands of people who, whenever they see me, I mean, they know this. And whenever somebody from there sees me from this life, they actually say this back to me. Okay. This is what I'm up to. Heaven on earth now, for the hell of it.
Wow. Gosh, I'm gonna step my game up.
And it started out, I was heaven on earth and a lot of fluff. But heaven on earth was where that was the stuff that fed nurtured me spiritually. I love saying it, and I love saying it in front of people. And then I went, you know what? When do I want it? I want it now. We actually can cause heaven on earth now. And when people ask why, which is a stupid question in this case. For the hell of it.
I love it. I love it. And
I'm doing this. This is my thing.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
so what's so great, what's so great about this is I will cause the empowerment of 1 billion athletes.
For the hell of it.
That's enough, like the external world may say why and all these other things,
Why?
right?
Yeah, they will. They will. But you know what? Thank you for saying why. Now we get to talk about the program. And it was a little something that I showed you. It's like, thank you for saying that. Do you have a couple of minutes?
Yeah. No,
And then you talk about the empowerment of 1 billion. And I think you should say it, not a billion, 1 billion athletes. And I think you should at least think in your mind, for the hell of it, because this is your game.
It is. There is no question. There is no question.
So I will empower. We can even take the cause out. I will empower 1 billion athletes for the hell of it. What?
Yeah.
And these are my programs, and this is what I'm doing, and these are the activities, and this is the way the water's flowing, and this is the way, and this is me expanding to include it. All of that stuff is in there.
Of course.
Well, why the hell are you doing this? Because I'm going to empower. I will cause the empowerment of 1 billion athletes.
Yeah, you're
you get yourself straight. That's what you're up to. So that's what you're going to do. That's what, I turned you on to Angelina Jordan, the singer. And here's what she doesn't do. She doesn't do that which is not singing. She does singing. And she has a vision of how that song, that beautiful song, should be expressed. And she sings the expression of that song. And here's what you're doing. You have a song, the empowerment of 1 billion athletes. And this is what that song sounds like. That's my song. Every single person has a song. And that song has a lyric that is 5, 7, 8 words. And that's the song they're singing. And then there's all that other stuff. Those are just verses of the song. But the song has a hook. And the hook is, I will empower 1 billion athletes. That's the hook of the song of your life.
Yeah, no, and then it hits, it encapsulates everything from the vision, the purpose, the mission.
Yes.
It also tackles very nicely the why, what, and how.
Exactly. Points strongly to all of the what, why, where, when, how, all of that stuff. All of that is in the context, because you have to expand to include 1 billion athletes. 1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
That's an expand to include song.
And it goes back to my initial thought, and it being Tuesday and being my highest aim and kind of
right,
those focal points. Empowering 1 billion athletes, 1 billion athletes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty expansive.
Project worth failing at.
And I hold my inner self to such a high standard, and I'm learning to create my internal standard versus others' perception of my reputation in the
Right, really, really good. So now you have a declaration. Now, standing in the present, taking everything in the past into account and looking into a totally empty future, you have spoken a future into existence. And there are 1 billion athletes that are that future.
This is the fun part about it, but it also
Yeah.
makes me feel a little, it's getting a little hot in here because
Yeah.
what an opportunity. What a life worth living.
Yeah, exactly. And then you die.
You die. Yeah.
You know,
It's
but take a look at it. What was Mother Teresa's project? What was Gandhi's project? What was Martin Luther King Jr.'s project?
massive.
Massive, bigger than them. They failed, but they moved the conversation forward.
Yeah, you're right. And
That's what you're going to do. You're going to move, and you know, along the line of those 1 billion athletes, there's going to be 1,000, 10,000 who go, that's my game, empowering 1 billion athletes, and you will then have partners. Because that's what you need. You need partnership, big time,
oh yeah.
in order to do your project. So this is Samantha Card's partnership project. Empower 1 billion athletes.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a game worth playing, a game worth failing at. And then the next thing is they need partners in that game. So I'll be your partner.
That makes my day better. You know, you taught me some tools, many. One tool in particular was, focused on the resource side of the game.
Yes, do that.
When I first started that,
Yes.
I was very surface level in what I thought resources were.
Oh, you were total bullshit.
Come on, don't expose me too much.
It's like, okay, here are my 10 resources, and I'm going, stop it.
Well, you got to start somewhere to be able to then.
Well, yeah. Well, you were playing the game. Remember, the Cowboy Up game is wake up, starts with wake up. And then, in the game is step up.
Yeah. And what is so amazing about our partnership and what we build together is a constant flow state. Mm-hmm. The way I view it, mm-hmm. for what that's worth. And mm-hmm. It's all about elevation and intentionality every single day, every single minute. There is no time to waste. So when I build,
well, it's a paradox, because it's not only that intentionality and that pressing forward in every single minute, but it also is let it flow.
100%.
Do not force the flow. Be the water. Let it flow.
And you were so patient and gracious with me to miserably fumble and fail for a good couple hours as I caught up to speed to be able to speak the language we needed to operate at.
Well, that's the way it happens, Sammy, is you engage in the game, you play the game, you learn the rules, you fail. And then there's a moment where it goes clunk and you correct and you've got the game. I mean, it happens, you go through 80-90% of the game and then it goes clunk and then suddenly you've got the game. That's what you came for. You came for that.
Yep. And the major learning I have, and I continually have in this growth with you as a partner on all things next level, all things leadership, all things personal inner development,
Mhm.
is that
That's the skill part. That's creating the skill part so you can take on a higher
that's exactly it.
game.
And
Mhm.
what is so interesting was where I have started in this journey and where we are today,
Yeah.
how grossly naive I was in thinking where I really was versus where I am at right now. Um, so let me build on that. So what I am,
So I want to make a point though. Okay. How long ago are you talking about I was grossly naive and today? How long a time period?
we started to have, it was when we started to have really in-depth conversations about more than surface level, right? Beyond the introduction. So I want to say it's probably end of August, September.
End of August, September was grossly naive.
Yeah. So
Then you came down here. Then you came down here
yes.
and you presented yourself however you presented yourself, a person who had desire, a person who had done a lot of background work
Mhm.
and really was kind of getting on with who she really was.
Mhm.
And then something shifted today.
So there's one thing to have education be poured into.
Yep.
There's another to apply it, the knowledge
Yep.
that you learn. There's even more of a next step in terms of placing yourself fully immersing in that and it become a part of who you are.
Okay, good. So today we went to that.
Yes.
And today you were absolutely able to articulate a declaration, which up until now has been word salad. It's been the right kind of word salad. It's a kind of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm committed to, blah, 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 blah. But now you've got it into who I am. So if you started with this and you said, who I am will cause.
The empowerment of 1 billion athletes.
Yeah, but say it as who I am will cause. Say it that way.
Who I am will cause the empowerment of 1 billion athletes.
Okay, now get present to what you just said. Because the question for yesterday, sorry, the question for Sunday is who am I? And you now have a way to respond to that. Remember, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Who I am is who I am will. Now we're on a whole spiritual level. Can you get this is really the spiritual level of
No,
this is that?
there's absolutely no doubt. And what it exposed in such an amazing way was how surface level I have been and skirted by.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
it's so much
we can,
bigger than that.
you're talented, you're young, you have energy. We have the saying is, that there are people who have and can get to a particular level, which is maybe a high technical level on their good looks, but they haven't done the work yet. If we could get those talented people to do the work, then we would have a lot of people who are who I am causes the empowerment of 1 billion athletes. So the who I am is at the heart of this. And the who I am answers a question. And it answers the question in the form of who you are as a contribution to humanity.
Because it's bigger than yourself.
It's so much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a contribution. It's at the level of core value. Contribution is a core value. You know, what is the purpose of you being here? To contribute and to serve.
Yeah.
And we're looking about, well, okay, so what is that niche that I can contribute and serve in that actually could make a difference? Well, let's create a project worth failing at.
What an opportunity
Hmm.
to have this discussion today. I mean,
Yeah.
holy smokes. So I selfishly have taken another level and step here, which is just, it's amazing. Every time that you have the moments, or I'll talk in terms of myself. I have these moments, it just fires me up in like a different way that I don't even know could be lit. And then it gets lit. And it's so great to be vulnerable in the process, where I hope someone else gets the courage to do the work that is required to go below the surface, get outside of the external, work on kind of the inner self, and be able to articulate, like, really, what is your contribution in this lifetime? Because you've got one life to live, and you can get by in life doing pretty much nothing, but how boring is that?
Yeah, that's the deal. That's the people who are doing it on their good looks, or
So
the people who gave it up, and they're just waiting to die. But that's not the people that we want to play with. We want to play with those people who are actually struggling with, who am I? What's my game?
yeah. So what
Yeah, I mean, really,
I'm
when you
kind of
look at it,
speechless.
what you're going to do is you're going to cause 1 billion athletes to discover what their game is. Really.
Yeah. And the scale,
Okay.
that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm speechless, because what a luxury, a privilege, an opportunity, everything in between, to evolve in real time as ever, but in front of everybody, which is so cool. It's so fun. It's the type of conversations you really should be having. And if you are not having them with those people around you, those partners you think are partners, you're in for a rude awakening.
Well, you're off topic. You're off topic.
Yeah.
Like Angelina Jordan, when she, it's off topic to her, or it's singing.
Yeah. So work in progress as ever, constantly.
Always amazing, always amazing. What is it that let's just kind of go by the numbers here. So you've noticed something wasn't working. What is it that you are giving up?
Explain what you mean by that.
Well, you have transcended, and you had and you were on a path, but now you've narrowed the path and focused it. What is it that you're giving up in order to actually be the who I am you declared yourself to be? What are you giving up?
There's a lot that I'm going.
There was a lot of fluff, for example.
Well, and there's also a lot of ideas that I have that I'd love to put a strategy around, and it's comfortable for me because it's in my skill sets that I want to do. But just because I can doesn't mean I should, because it'll take me away from my ultimate purpose
line.
And that's
your, see, if you were skiing, that's your fall line.
Yeah. And but what's interesting is, you go back to like my initial question about feeling like you're not doing enough, or like me, that I wasn't feeling like I was doing enough. And it wasn't that I wasn't purpose driven. I'm ever more purpose driven than I ever have been. Now I'm zeroed in on that line. And
well, let me just interrupt something here. I think you're in the process of giving up that it's about Samantha and taking on that it's about partnership. And you're driving it. Samantha's driving it. Samantha's got, so she's lighting it up and she's driving it, but it's not about you. It's expanded and it's about partnership. It's about 1 billion athletes. So we want to take who I am causing 1 billion athletes rather than 1 billion athletes are giving me who I am. Because they're not.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But they're gone now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Work in progress. I am definitely a team player. I am definitely I have been that way. I have.
Yeah.
Grew up
No, that's where you did the preliminary work. That's where you did the blocking and tackling.
Yes. But you highlighted something in terms of it defining who I am versus me just being a catalyst for the ultimate purpose and project at the end.
That's right. At some point you're going to die, but your partners are going to carry it on.
Which is that the scalability of it, the partnership, the community is so critically important to make it sustainable. So
yes. Your key to the impact that you're going to make on 1 billion athletes who probably won't know who you are. They'll be impacted by Joe Blow somewhere down the line, that 1 billionth athlete. But your key is partnership and to create a worldwide network of partnership to impact 1 billion athletes. That's kind of the project.
Just, casual Sunday. The whim.
Well, for the hell of it. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Yeah, no, John. Awesome. So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
And I will tell you, frankly, this so nurtures me, my soul, my spirit, and so honors my teachers. So I sit here and I think about my mother and father and their aspirations for me. I think about my teachers, the people who were in my life, Thord Nielsen in the high school, and Van, who was so important to me, and Jerome, who was so important to me. And then all of the teachers that I've had that had come and gone long before me, and so like that. The moment of being able to interact with you like that nurtures and honors them. So we're honoring all of that good stuff of the past while you are creating a future for 1 billion athletes. That's a pretty cool thing. Yeah. Yeah, micro, exactly.
Well, what a great place to end.
Perfect.
And as ever, thank you for being you. Thank you for always showing up 150% for me, because
my honor, my pleasure, my privilege.
All right, so as ever, always give you a nice salute. And
I like that salute.
It's a little athlete in me. All right, bye.
Bye.